everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. Definitely a rant, this one. Just when you thought the Newcastle United menu was pork free, the Baron of Bacon has resurfaced once again, spouting absolute bollocks on yet another podcast. Yes, Steve Bruce, the fart in the lift that just won't leave, is back again, grabbing your nostril hair and burning it to the core. He's been on another podcast, I think it's a podcast called Business and Football or something like that. I kind of half glanced at it, to be fair, no disrespect to the lads. It's a little bit like a high performance light. Obviously trying to do the same thing. Good luck to them. I hope they're better quality guests than the Baron of Bacon moving forward. But of course, he's talked about football, and he's talked about his life in football. It's pretty clear that he's extremely dated when it comes to his expectations of football managers and football in general these days. But Newcastle United inevitably came up in the conversation. I think they asked him, they said, has there ever been an instance where you've achieved your goals and you lost your job? And he giggled and said, yeah, Newcastle, I kept them in the league, and then I went. And then he went on to start talking about this little yarn he was spinning about how when Amanda Staveley and Mehrdad Guddusi came in, they asked Steve Bruce, Steve, what can we do to help you? Because he's such a noble soul. He said, listen, you know, I'm the only negative thing left in this whole equation, so I will step aside. What he failed to say on this podcast was he waited to get paid off 8 million quid to step aside, as he said. But he then goes on to say some unbelievably ridiculous things that is warping reality again. He's a little bit like Thanos, as Bruce, with some kind of reality stone where he thinks he can just bend space and time and make us believe that what happened didn't really happen. But what he turned around and he said was, he recommended Eddie Howe for the job. That's right. So you don't have PIF to thank, or Amanda Staveley, or Mehrdad. It's all Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce is the man to thank for Eddie Howe and his brilliant achievements at Newcastle United. So thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for you recommending Eddie Howe for the job. It's very noble of you. What he doesn't remember saying was when Eddie Howe was linked to the job, he called him the guy who got Bournemouth relegated. So that goes to show you exactly what he thought of Eddie Howe at that particular moment. So he's totally full of shit once again. But it's quite funny because he did say that he wanted to think a younger manager was better with a fresh pair of eyes and everything else. And he recommended Eddie and Steven Gerrard.
Marhaba, Ana Steven Gerrard. Ana El Etifaki. See you soon. Thanks
for that, Steve. I'm really glad that they stopped listening to you after you said Eddie Howe. Steven Gerrard at Newcastle would have been disastrous, given what he did at Aston Villa. But yeah, so he went on to say that, you know, he left, and, you know, he's given it the old magnanimous kind of benevolent viewpoint that, you know, he did the right thing and he left Newcastle United because it was the only way for the club to move forward. It was the best thing for the club to do. It was really hard for him to do, but, you know, he managed to do it, you know. So, as I said, he had 8 million reasons to do it, which is exactly what he did. If he was a good guy that he claims to be, this facade that he portrays in the media, that everybody seems to swallow hook, line and sinker, really. I think it's all because he was the fucking Man United captain. They all go back to this 90s view of Steve Bruce lifting the trophy. They think he's this wonderful guy. He's not a wonderful guy, he's a shithouse. Look at the way he behaved. He alienated Newcastle fans. He treated Sean Longstaff disgustingly. You know, in terms of a young player, what he did to his career, he drew pistols at dawn with you know, journalists who are really decent guys as well, just trying to do their job and earn a living and report on Newcastle United, which at the time was completely, you know, in turmoil under this guy. So yeah, this sense of reality that Bruce portrays is not the real world, really, but these people buy it hook, line and sinker. And I, for one, am just glad that this shit stain of a manager is nowhere near not just my football club, but any football club ever again. I mean, they keep wheeling them out to do these podcasts, you know, because he's an experienced football man. 1,000 games this fraud managed to get there as a manager, which is beyond me, really. He was a serial quitter. He left jobs left, right and centre. I think there's only 2 clubs that he stayed at for a long period of time. There's only really, I think, 2 clubs that actually think fondly of him. That's Birmingham City and Hull. The rest of them think he's an absolute twat, really, and rightly so, because every single time he goes into their football clubs, he did the same thing, copy and paste. It was almost a plan of destruction from Steve Bruce. I mean, he was that bad I think, the training was terrible at Newcastle. The players were all unfit. I think he used to give people days off, and he'd forget he even gave them days off from what I was hearing, all this other shit. But yeah, just listening to the guy talk, you would think he was, he left with a rapturous applause from the fan base, and everybody was sad to see him go. But I bet if you talk to people behind the scenes in Newcastle United, they would tell you straight that this guy was just like Mike Bassett, England manager, really. So yeah, it did make me chuckle a little bit, but it's been doing the rounds on social media, so I thought we'd jump on and talk a little bit about it again. But yeah, for Steve Bruce, sorry, you were one of the worst managers that's ever managed Newcastle United. Statistically, personally, you were divisive, you were antagonistic, you were awful towards the fans as well. The disrespect you were showing the supporters for the shit that they were going through supporting their team, under this horrible ownership that was just, taking the piss out of them, ripping them off, not giving them value for money, not listening to their opinions. Ever since that ownership left, and ever since you left as a manager, we have gone from strength to strength, as you rightly said, Steve Bruce. But it's not because you benevolently walked away. It's because you were got rid of by the management. Yes, they or the ownership, they may have done it in a classy way, and that says a lot more about them than it does to anybody else. But yeah, jog on, Steve. Get back to Portugal. Top up your tan. Go fishing, have a bacon sandwich or whatever, mate, and just stop talking about Newcastle United. You're a history, we're focusing on the future. That's me done for today's rant, guys. If you like this kind of thing, smash subscribe. We'd love you to come and join us. We've got loads of content for you. Rumour has it shows, pop-up videos just like this, and the live show with me and Mark What's Going On every Monday at 10. Like the video too, help get her on YouTube, help the channel grow. Have a cracking day wherever you are. We'll catch you later. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.